Part 7, the last part of Rime of the Ancient Mariner. Away we go. So, where we left it off, he was still on the ship. There's 3 people in a rowboat coming to get him. Hermit Good, the pilot, and the pilot's boy. Hermit is some sort of holy man who lives in the wood, and he's going to come and help him, hopefully. The hermit good that lives in the wood, which slopes down to the sea, and how loudly his sweet voice he rears. He loves to talk with mariners that come from far country. So he likes to talk to these mariners, but he just lives by himself. Okay. He nails at morn and noon and eve. He hath a cushion plump. It is the moss that wholly hides the rotted old oak stump. So he doesn't have a church, but he's got nature. The skiff boat neared. I heard them talk. Why, this is strange, I trow. Where are those lights, so many and fair, that signal made but now? Remember, the lights are the ghosts, the angels of the dead men. Strange by my faith, the hermit said, and they answered not our cheer. There's no, they actually give them no voice, right? The planks look warped, and see those sails, how thin they are and sere. So it's a raggedy looking ship. I never saw aught like to them, unless perchance it were brown skeletons of leaves that lag my forest brook along. When the ivy tod is heavy with snow, the owlet whoops to the wolf below that eats the she-wolf's young. Dear Lord, it hath a fiendish look, the pilot made reply. I am afeard. Push on, said the hermit cheerily. So they're scared, but the hermit's pushing them on. The boat came closer to the ship, but I nor spake nor stirred. The boat came close beneath the ship, and straight a sound was heard. Uh-oh. Under the water it rumbled on, still louder and more dread. It reached the ship and split the bay. The ship went down like lead. So there's a sound from underneath the water that keeps rising up, and all of a sudden that sound makes the ship split in two, and the boat sinks, stunned by the loud and dreadful sound which sky and ocean smote. Like one that hath been 7 days drowned, my body lay afloat. So his body's floating up there like a drowned man. But swift as dreams, myself I found within the pilot's boat. Now they got him, and they got him in the old rowboat. Upon the whirl where sank the ship, so where it sank, it's spinning, right? The boat spun round and round, so the little rowboat's spinning round and round. And all was still, save the hill was telling of the sound, so that hearing the echo of that crash. I moved my lips. The pilot shrieked and fell down in a fit. So he just passes out because he's so scared. The holy hermit raised his eyes and prayed where he did sit. I took the oars. The pilot boys, who now doth crazy go, laughed loud and long, and all the while his eyes went to and fro. So the pilot boy went crazy. Aha, quoth he, full plain I see, the devil knows how to row. And now, in my own country, I stood on firm land, and the hermit stepped forth from the boat, and secretly he could stand. Oh, shrieve me, holy man! The hermit crossed his brow. Say quick, quoth he, I did bid thee say, what manner of man art thou? Forthwith his frame with mind was wretched with woeful agony, which forced me to begin my tale. And then it let me free. Big old break right here. So, as soon as they get to land, the hermit asks him, what kind of man are you? Meaning, like, is he some sort of, like, spirit or ghost or devil? Or are you actually a man? Because he looks, I'm sure, totally just, like, crazy. And then, so he tells him his story. Began my tale. And then once he finishes his tale, it leaves him free. So it felt good to tell his story. Since then, At an uncertain hour, that agony returns, till my ghastly tale is told, this heart within me burns. So every once in a while, it doesn't say how often, but he gets that agony in his heart, that agony that he felt when he was on the ship. And then he has to tell that story in order to release it. I pass like night from land to land. I have strange power of speech. That moment that his face I see, I know the man that his face I see. I know the man that must hear me. To him, my tale I teach. So he has to walk around. He doesn't know who he's supposed to find, but he knows it when he sees his face. And then he has to tell the story. With loud uproar bursts from that door. The wedding guests are there, so we're now back at the wedding. But in the garden bower, the bride and bridesmaids singing are, and hark are the little vesper bell, which biddeth me to prayer. O wedding guest, this soul hath been alone on a wide, wide sea. So lonely 'twas that God himself scarce seemed there to be. Sweeter than the marriage feast, 'tis sweeter far to me to walk together to the kirk with goodly company. To walk together to the kirk and all together pray. So they're walking to the church to pray together. While each to his great Father bends, old men and babes and loving friends and youths and maidens gay. Farewell, farewell, but this I tell to thee, thou wedding guest. He prayeth well who loveth well both man and bird and beast. He prayeth best who loveth best all things great and small, who loveth well that both man and bird and beast. He prayeth best who loveth best all things both great and small. For the dear God who loveth us, he made and loveth all. The mariner whose eye is bright, whose beard was age as hoar, is gone. And now the wedding guest turned from the bridegroom's door and went like one that had been stunned and is of sense forlorn. A sadder and wiser man, he rose the morrow morn. Okay, so he obviously had, the ancient mariner had to wander from night to night finding the person that needed to hear this story. It happened to be the wedding guest. The wedding guest heard his story, and thus the ancient mariner is released for a while. For some reason, this man had to hear the story to learn the lesson. The lesson is what? Beware, he's like, he prayeth well who loveth well. So whoever prays the best, loves man and bird and beast. Whoever prayeth best, best. Who loveth best, so whoever loves the best. All things both great and small. For the dear God who loveth us, he made and loveth all. So he's saying that, like, in order to be the best person, this is again going back to that romanticism of loving nature and loving everything. He's like saying that we as humans are not above everything else. You must love everything that was created. He's like, that's it. You can't distinguish between one being better than the other. And then he takes off, this old man, and he leaves the wedding guest, and then the wedding guest walks away like he's been stunned, like he just can't believe the story he's just heard. And he's kind of forlorn, like a little bit sad, but maybe not sad either. Maybe that's not the right word. But then he does say, a sadder and wiser man, he rose the morrow morn. So he's now learned something from all this. There's a couple phrases that have been coined. If you ever heard this term, a sadder and wiser man, that does come from this poem. He coined that. The term all things both great and small, or all things great, both great and small, that term also comes right here from this poem. So, to end this that is the Rime of the Ancient Mariner. I hope you've enjoyed the story, the poems, the poetics, the imagery. I hope you found something great within this. And now I leave you like one that hath been stunned.